Madam President, thank you. I rise today to thank my colleagues for passing a moment ago an important amendment to this underlying bill. It's an amendment to provide for evidence-based training and efforts that promote early language development and literacy development. This is really important for kids to get them ready for kindergarten. And again, I appreciate the fact that on a voice vote that was passed earlier this afternoon. I now rise, Madam President, to urge the Senate to support a child safety amendment that I have introduced to the Child Development Block Grant Bill. I want to thank Senator Alexander, Senator Burr, Senator Mikulski, Senator Harkin for all their help on this amendment. I appreciate them working with us. I like the underlying legislation. I think it's a good bill because I think it goes a long way to ensuring that our federal dollars are spent in a way that does keep our children in safe learning environments and care facilities. I believe my amendment makes a good bill even better. Currently, the legislation prohibits individuals who have been convicted of a felony from working in a child care facility that is funded through these federal block grants. That's a good start. But by limiting the prohibition only to felonies, we're leaving other people out. We're leaving a pool of individuals who have been convicted of crimes against children eligible for employment in this setting where they could prey on vulnerable kids. So the amendment simply expands to ensure that we are covering those people. It ensures the health and safety of children by clarifying that adults who are convicted of misdemeanor violent crimes against children, child abuse, child endangerment, sexual assault, or of a misdemeanor involving child pornography are also identified in criminal background checks and are not permitted to work in a child care facility that receives support through these child care development block grants. Let me just give you a couple of examples of crimes that under the bill as currently drafted would not prevent an individual from working in a child care facility funded by the legislation. In my home state of Ohio, we just had a terrible example. An Ohio daycare worker was accused of sprinkling drugs on snacks to get children to sleep. She was fined $250 and then had her charges reduced to a misdemeanor count of child endangerment after a plea agreement. So she didn't get charged with a felony in the end because she pled it down to a misdemeanor, but clearly you don't want someone like this working in one of these facilities. There are lots of other examples. A Utah woman pled guilty to 2 Class A misdemeanors recently for child abuse. These charges were reduced from 5 second-degree felonies for intentionally inflicting serious physical injury on a child. She'd been arrested for physically and emotionally abusing her daughter. According to a police report, she hit her daughter with a closed fist and choked her, but she pled, again, guilty to 2 misdemeanors because of the plea agreement. These are just a couple of cases. There are many more, and these are just ones that have been decided in the last few months. Under the legislation as currently written, these individuals would be eligible to work in a child care facility that receives federal funds. So, Madam President, I think this amendment's very simple. It only seeks to protect children and to bar individuals who would commit crimes against the most vulnerable among us from receiving these federal tax dollars. I urge my colleagues to accept the amendment, and again, I want to thank the authors of the underlying bill for working closely with us on this amendment to improve legislation that is already a good bill that's doing a lot to protect our kids. I yield back my time.